Welcome back for another most special and yummy update. So today, the CME exchange has opened, friends, and we have a big gap that has formed with Ethereum. So if you've been following me after Juicy News, remember during Juicy News, I've been speaking to you about how we were focusing on the fact that there was a large gap created over the weekend. A lot of new people coming in. Remember what a weekend gap is. Traditional markets, they close on basically their Fridays, right? They don't open on Saturday, Sunday, and they reopen Monday. And those 2 days, right? But what happens is over the international crypto markets, moves happen. And so when the new exchange opens, it's just going to open at that price. And it makes what we call a gap. Now, gaps, something interesting about gaps is they fill back and they close the gap in literally about 98% of cases. They do. Okay, so weekend gaps, just because of the volatility and everything out here. But the theory is as well that if people need to hit anything over a weekend, whether it's sell or buy, the theory is that it's low liquidity. So it's people like basically either rolling over each other or climbing over each other to get in. Okay, so it's pretty much, it happens faster. And then when the market comes to its senses, it realizes, oh, actually, we shouldn't have actually gone this fast, right? But it does create opportunity for someone who believes. This is now halfway, that midpoint. It's actually a 61.8 retrace. So if you were bidding Ethereum at 2200, I guess you'd get out at 1700. That's your stop. You're risking -1 here, and then you'd get 2 up the top up there. Okay, so that's something to think about for trading. This is there's many different styles to trade. So this is obviously not something that I'm doing, but it is interesting nonetheless. So here it is. You're going to risk -1 here, and you're trying to go for the +2. This is actually, it's a very, very high win rate, that type of strategy. Very high win rate doesn't mean infinite win rate. Doesn't mean it's like 100%, but it's nice to know that it all lines up. There's confluence there. So I guess on the tip of everybody's tongue now, friends, everyone's wondering if, what's going to happen with this war. Is it going to keep progressing? This is the Bitcoin price. So it comes back, shoots under, goes down around 98,000. There could always be another squeeze, just to be honest, right? There's always infinite levels going down. So if a market really wanted to, friends, it could come back down to 92. It could grab liquidity there. It could come back for a second test around 97. It could do that. But the most important was this level here, just so you know, because it's very obvious. So you got to think about, remember, friends, I was talking to you about this just from before. Let's go back and let's pretend we were like here, okay? Let's imagine we were here. This is Jam's Wynn. Remember, Jam's Wynn is starting to get liquidated there, which is kind of crazy enough. He's starting to get liquidated here. But I was telling you, if you're long, right, because sometimes this, friends, you've just been in markets a lot, like you know where everybody places their stops. Yeah, you know where the retailers, not retailers, you know where everyone, and retailers, everyone combined, you know where they place their stops. They look at the chart and they go, oh, I would like to place my stops here, because they go, oh, if it goes down, that means I'm wrong and it's over. So you just know, I've been here just a long time, pretty much a long time. What we can actually do is play some Pikachu in the jungle music for you, just to clarify our friendship and our experience. Would you like fries with that? Would you like some friendship with that? So actually what happens usually is you'll find, friends, where everyone places their stops, the market goes and hunts them, gets them out, and just because you don't know how low this thing's going to go, right? It gets out. You don't know how many people are actually going to exit. You just know people will, all right? And then that's why markets are chaotic. That's why you just don't know what price it's going to go to, right? Here's the thing, right? When we've gone through here, if we go and just play this out, you get to see these daily candles pop, 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 and then here we are right now. So see, it just comes back down. It's actually sliced on through, especially through a weekend. It's just literally like, meow, Bitcoin goes all the way down to 98,000. Could be more stuff, but like, I guess if you're trading a reclaim back, so if Bitcoin goes back to 102,000, very significant, because effectively what we've done is we've come back through a weekend, we've chopped through, we've sliced through just to see, hey, anybody got a big stops? And then nothing's appeared. And then I guess you would reclaim and then you just continue like nothing happened. And all those leverage longers who are relying on this holding, they get wiped out. Sorry, so that's just how the game and how it works. Now, is there another leg lower to go? Could always be another leg lower. I think it's done, because, right, we've had through a weekend, we've had a lot of damage, and you could tell everybody's like, no one's got any confidence anyway. You know what I mean? No one was doing any leverage, right? It was just, there's nothing there, you know? It's not like, oh, we're all positioned long, we needed to go higher. Like, you know, no one's even looking at their portfolios, friends. Look at Pulse Chain, best example. Go Pulse goes down. By the way, just to let you know, if you want to use Go Pulse, you go to plsburn.com, and the website's actually still up. So this is actually GoPulse.com still going, because I know a lot of people just like to go to it. 7.26%. I still love using pulsecoinlist.com out here. Yeah, this is it. So yeah, just keeping you updated because you're my friend. But yeah, on the topic again of this price action, see, we're all too depressed to be long. No one did, you didn't go do anything differently. Like everything's been going down for 6 months. You know, you haven't been accumulating leverage or anything. It's just like whatever. You know, so these things are very contextual, right? You don't know how big that slice is going to be. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's go back to, say, 2021, okay? There was a slice of a candle which Crypto Kobe used. He saw this and he said, okay, it's over for everyone. He actually said back here, he goes, December 2021, he goes, 95% of you or more. He goes, almost all of you will have more money here in December 2021 than you will ever have for the rest of your lives. That's what he says. Very, very myopic. Actually, feels like that. It's been like 5 years later, 4.5 years later, almost 5 years, bro. So yeah, it's been painful out here. 4 or 5 years. It's been right about that run. So just to show you, right, this candle, this is something, right? You see how it was just moving along. This is Bitcoin, right? Hap 64. Remember, it hit 69,420, comes back down. There was a slice here. As you go, bang. Just these 2 days where Bitcoin slices 20%. Okay, and there you go. Okay, why did it do that? Everybody was positioned long. Everyone really wanted Bitcoin 100K. Yeah, and then when it came down, bang, everyone, pretty much all the stops were wiped out. You know, so you can actually see it. It cascaded here, and people had stops. It got everything. You know, we did not see that now. Why? Because we have to see that was the context of 2021 December. There was money printing. There was, we just had a bull market. Yeah, things actually went up. You had Dogecoin mania that appeared. We had NFTs. You had stuff moving, right? We haven't seen any of that. Nothing. We've just had this huge deadness period. So that's why you could make a case that the price action is subdued for a reason. It's just, you know, in our context, there wasn't a buildup of all these weak hands or anything because they want to buy higher. So this was me showing you the gap price of when it happened, friends. Remember, Ethereum went down to like 2,100 pretty much. So, yeah, so there's a gap for Bitcoin and Ethereum. But we just like watching Ethereum because we're like, you know, we want this old season to hurry up. So this is the Ethereum gap up here. So I guess we'll see what happens. This is the next part is what does it do when it goes back to 2,370? You know, where the gap is, you know. Does it come back and reject or does it do whatever? So once again, like it's 50-50, but yeah, man, if I was doing a leverage macro trade, that's what I would do. It'd be risking you in here, you're risking a 1 unit here, you're going for 3,200. That's actually the next CME gap, exactly to the T. That's where it is, 3,200. But yeah, I mean, like a lot of Bill friends believe as well, like, you know, like the cycle's over soon. I don't know. I know we have to check ourselves though. Is it because we're like, you know, we're long and we really wanted to go up, or are we missing something obvious? Well, you tell me. Here is Donald Trump on the phone to Chud Jack. Nothing is going to happen. So as we've seen with Iran going back and forth, airstrikes, remind you that, you know, if Iran makes it more expensive for oil, which it has, then yeah, China's economy also depends a lot on oil, and I'm probably giving them a phone call like, I don't think you're going to do that, right? China's huge compared to them. So this is interesting, friends. This is the CME gap for oil. So this, you know, in the midst of the turmoil, the CFD markets that people were showing. So there are some brokers that do like weekend trading, but like it's full on, do not touch this stuff. Obviously, a bid and offer on the normal market is 1 cent for bid and offer distance for oil, right? So like 75.40 and then 75.41, okay, bid and offer. On these weekend markets, the spread is not 1 cent. It became 80 cents. It's like 40 cents down, 40 cents up. It's literally, don't even bother, dude. Just literally don't even bother, okay? You will get absolutely crazy. Literally all your edge, bro, is destroyed. Now, what I want to point to your interest is over the weekend, so in the midst of the spike, so on some of these custom thin market maker, which is retailer markets, it was up at 79 bucks for oil, but in the midst of the crisis. But the bid and offer was here. So if you wanted to actually sell, I think the offer might have been like $80.40, and I think the bid might have been like 79, like 50 or something. That's huge, man. But yeah, so if you wanted to buy, you had to buy up at 81. Why do they do that? It's because the market makes it thin, and if someone puts too much risk in their position, because the market maker's got to take the other side of you, they have nowhere to hedge. Yeah, so they're just taking on weekend risk. That's why they go, oh, they'll give you a really wide market. So if you're really, really desperate and you want to get out, well, you're going to have to pay up big because no one's going to give you a tight market. That's why crypto is going to be the future, friends. Crypto is going to change everything for the future. And that's why we're actually going to play some Happy Guts music a bit.
I know I could split steel with this sword.
And crank it. Oil ticking down. This is a 30-minute chart. So it's nice. It spikes up. Kind of funny, friends, right onto the level, and it comes back down. So yeah, we watch this stuff just out of general interest. What has the market been saying when it comes to the oil and all these commodities? If you see big moves, it's starting to revert back. It's kind of like everyone's kind of like probably like figuring out what's going on. There might be more commentary coming out, I guess, if the US Fed wants to move the interest rates, because the next FOMC decision is in 40 days. So we'll see about that. I found this chart funny as well. So this is right before the crash, right? So Bitcoin was here, and I'm saying the charts were saying, friends, Iran is going to back down, or the regime gets toppled, or something's just going to happen to pump us into the new moon, right? And it's funny, we did go down to around $98,000 here. So this chart, I guess, does go down here, and it's come back down on 100,000. So funny if we just do go, but we're waiting a long time, a long time. It's been so painful, but I know, man. If you want to lash out, friends, just know that. Look, man, just know that you're lashing out at yourself, because look, hundreds of thousands of people have left crypto, yeah, and there's like 6 of us left. So when you're like trying to attack us, you're attacking the 3 people who are still there. Obviously, you don't have to agree with them, but you can't deny they don't love being here, right? They want to succeed so much. Just like, friends, in America, Democrats, Republicans, blue, red, and stuff out here, you can't deny. Obviously, they both love the country. They just got different ways about how they do it. It's just like raising a child. There's 2 ways to love a child. Obviously. One, okay, how are you gonna? A mother loving her child might be like, okay, make you Vegemite on toast. Also very controversial, by the way. I'll bring you orange juice to your room. And then a father loving the child. Father doesn't really do that. Father's like, you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna cover half of the cost for your first car. You cover the other half. You know what I mean? Or we're like, come here, son. I'll show you how to catch a wild metapod out there, right? Let me show you how the real men used to catch metapod, right, back in the day. You know what I mean? So it's just, but you can't deny, they just have different ways of showing it. So that's what you just think about that. But 99% of us is fine. Obviously, I'm speaking to the few people just wasting their time, spinning their wheels, coping and moping and stuff. The PulseX supply buy and burn, friends, is still ticking up, man, which is great. It's all working in the background. Price of dog shit, but it is what it is. Got a friendly reminder for everyone out there as well. Newsflash, nobody gives a shit about your opinion on US, Israel, or Iran. So you just got to remember why we started coming into the cryptocurrency land anyway, and that is for the Ponzi coins to pump 100x. This is the Land Wolf team with the Moo Bull everywhere out here. So there is no, where's my Land Wolf? Where's my land? They removed Land Wolf. How dare you, whoever made this comic out here. But yeah, I love every single one of you. Just, we're all stuck in this together. Altcoins, it's time to stop being so shit. After 5 years, I've got juicy updates coming here for you. But hey, what are you going to do now? So, yeah, during these times, friends, I know it's not nice, man. I know it's not nice, but man, after all that, I've just noticed. Do you want to see the S&P 500? Do you want to see the S&P 500? I'll put it on a weekly chart. You can't even see it. The S&P 500 is up here. That's the Iran thing. That's what America thinks of this Iran stuff. Let's actually put on 1 hour chart. Oh my gosh. it's literally just come down. It's just come back up. There you go. Look, I know this is a 1 hour chart, but this is a good example of, you know, the market, right? It'll just hunt stops. So there might be positions they were relying on that holding. So what I can do is, so you can use this just what markets do, right? The markets do this, you know. So you can see this. There's stops here, right? See, there's 3 of these areas, yeah. And there's just all this microstructure. There's all these, everything's just fractals upon itself, right? So if you just play this out, so that's why I'm using this the same thing with Bitcoin, right? You go, oh, I wonder what's under here, right? So that's what you're looking at, this giant, see these, like, oh, I wonder what's under this line. Does the market want to go down here, punch through, do the retest and go back down? Or does it want to like reject? Either way, it's pinging them out because there are stops there. And then you just play it out and you see what happens, right? Gently, we'll be able to do that right now. And bang, there you go. I've just putting it through. See this? The new candle has appeared here. So it did actually slice on through just to see what's below it, and it's come right through. So yeah, it's interesting, right? To have a look at how markets and these fractals, they repeat each other and they do things like that. And it's because it's human emotions, you know? Human emotions, it's the same whether like everyone's betting on a sports team, whether you are having high expectations for a friend to maybe pull up on a deal, whether you're taking a bet on a market, betting on a football team or a tennis, but it's the same thing. Our emotions, we have expectations for something, and then like when everyone has the same expectations, the tiniest like blip like kind of like ruins it, you know? So it's just, you know, it reflects itself in markets the same way too. So I made this joke post that 2029 is going to be a great year for crypto, almost there. So this is you and me just hanging out in the tree, out in the forest. Ha ha ha, Mr. Lefty, bottom signal. Hey, AI Money Man, Q4 2025, baby. I'm happy to shield dick butts for another 4 years. I'll be here before you know it. We build back better on Ticker Pulse chain. Agreed. 2059, make Ethereum great again. So it's funny because it's true. As you see that, how... You see, all of us were like, well, why are we even like that? Because we're just like so numb to the pain. You know, that's what, there's no leverage in the system. That's why, I'm not using the charts here. Even though you're using the charts, Fibonacci, liquidity trap, ICT, super trends, whatever you trade, it's pretty much, everything's saying it's a long here. Yeah, you put your stop, whatever, below and then you try to risk 2 to 1, whatever. Okay. It's all saying the same thing. And then like, even if you remove the charts, that's why I'm giving you highest value coins in crypto. If you're just looking at it, you're like, you're looking around just qualitatively, just no one's really like leveraged. Like, there was no excitement build up anyway. So like, so it might be just one of those nice, boring walk up things again. And not to make fun of this, but we kind of should. James Wynn's bearish as well. He's bearish, yeah. I'll show you as well. Friends, he's a good retail indicator, man. There's no. Friends, well, look, trust me. I've spoken to guys who are like one of the best traders in the world. I've seen people like 95% win rates, and I know how they talk. Okay, I know how they talk about the game of trading. When you listen to James Wynn, it doesn't sound like that, He goes, my short is up over 70 million now. I mean, I hope that's what he does. I don't know. Can he have that, man? Is there enough leverage to do that? It was kind of funny, actually. My short is up 70 million. This was June 2024, June, just 2 days ago. He goes, take some profit. I already did at 104.5. Yeah, Pixar, it didn't happen. I think if it was on Hyperliquid, people would be able to actually see it. So as you can see now, he's basically like cheering it go down. 99% of CT is dumb. Breaking, Iran is closing on Hormuz. You know what I mean? So it's pretty much, that's what you can tell when everyone just wants stuff to go down. They usually got a short. And some funny banter as well. Keep coping and capping. Let's see if there's even any screenshots. I know that you always do the opposite of the market. You say short yourself, but you go long, and that's exactly where you're a loser. Because it's clear from the projects you've abandoned half-finished, you're a liar and a loser. Wow, Mr. Mustafa Safi. With those comments keep getting loaded and stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's been cracking. For the rest of us, we got a new moon on June 25th, friends. New moon is pump, okay? Full moon is scary dump time. New moon, so... Yeah, well, that was quite a session. Please play it. Please pay at the next window. Drive on through. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you in the next one.